Thanks to everybody who tuned into Monday's podcast. Big time. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the love and support. But it's time to look at what's been going on in transfers, and I haven't really put a video out, and that's because there's just a lot of rubbish going on. There's a lot of stuff with John Stones and all that stuff, and none of it's true. I mean, I talked to a few agents on Tuesday, and they were just like, there's nothing in it, it's just paper talk. So I didn't really make a video on that, but I'll go down to the centre-backs top 10 style, because it's the centre-backs that's really an issue for Arsenal. And let's start at number 10, John Stones. Nothing in it, and you're looking at a poor man's Rob Holding, really. Rob Holding, for me, has been one of the most stable units for Arsenal at centre-back, and we've seen how good Callum Chambers is. Rob Holding was a big part of that 22-game unbeaten streak last season, and he played for 16 of those games and was rock solid. And he's sort of been in and out since he came back. He's had 2 games with the first team, and he's just well off the pace. In the last game, he constantly gave the ball away. He's not 100% sharp. Mikel Arteta knows that, so I think he's doing the best thing he can at the moment, Arteta, which is just managing the situation with Rob Holding, bring him back when he's got the right tempo, when he's up to speed and 100% fully fit. I think it's fair to say, while his fitness levels have dropped quite a bit, he is 100% healed from that injury, but he's just not on the ball as far as game speed goes. Number 9, we'll talk about Upamecano. His team are not going to be releasing him in January, and that's one of the bad things about the January transfer market. Number 8 is Boateng, and Boateng, guys, is probably in the same reign as Upamecano. There's a situation at Bayern Munich where they are suffering 8 to 10 injuries at the moment, and they're just trying to tool the team on as they are. The worst thing they can do is let go their most experienced centre-back and give him to another team, and then they're still battling for the league, with Borussia Dortmund. So it's not a very smart thing in order to get rid of somebody, even though he wants to go. Yeah, he's made that very clear. I just can't see it happening at the moment now, and the news of that has really died off over the last week. Number 7 is Dagenham. Dagenham is an interesting possibility for Arsenal, but again, it's just a possibility. Reading between the lines of what the chairman and the club president are saying, I can't see them releasing him in January, so we're back into that reign again. And look, guys, that's just the first 4 out of the top 10, and all that tells us is players are just not readily available in January, and it's a hard place to be in, and it makes you have to wonder why certain decisions have been made at the club, at Arsenal Football Club. Knowing how hard it is to get somebody in at centre-back, we'll go down now to the top 6, which is the Arsenal players. So let's start with Holding. We just talked about what's going on with Rob Holding, and Chambers now is going to be out for 6 to 9 months. So Chambers is gone. He's not an option anymore. Number 5 is Mavropanos. Mavropanos was a person who was solid. He was groomed, chosen by Sev Mislintat, and what have we done? We've put him on loan. So we're struggling to get a player in place to replace Chambers. We're not getting William Saliba back until the summer. And then what do? We get rid of Mavropanos. That's a dumb move from Arsenal. And to tell you about how positive things can be is they're suffering injuries at the moment. Aubameyang's been banned for 3 games, and they've decided to keep Eddie Nketiah. Now that's just smart business. That's just smart decisions as far as the front office goes. You understand the status of your 25-man roster, which is down to about 22 at the moment, but you realise that you're short in that department, so you bring a man in who has scored goals for Leeds this season and has played really well and needs playing time, so he gives you the option to play through the next 3 games, and then after that you just throw him into the under-21 setup. There's nothing wrong with that. That way you can keep an eye on him, and the likes of Mertesacker and Freddie Ljungberg can give him a little bit more playing time and groom him within the system. But why aren't we doing that with Mavropanos? Where we're actually short of a position, we've decided to put him out on loan in the second division of the Bundesliga with a team that's in 16th place. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Mustafi, he shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be here. But the team, it looks like they're going to depend on him in the case of any injuries. Yeah? Now, we've got Holding, we've got Mavropanos who's gone, we've got Chambers who's injured for 9 months. So that's 3 out of the top 6 gone. Mustafi, yeah? And then all that leaves is the front 2, which is Socrates and Luiz. And honestly, 5 yellow cards and one of those guys are going to get a ban. That's just the rules of the Premiership. It just leaves us in a really bad position, and I don't understand why the club would make the decision to get rid of Mavropanos knowing how short we are. There must be something that they're working on, and they've still got time, guys. Look, there's another 2 weeks. Anything can happen. But all of the links that we had at the beginning of January have just fallen apart, and we're looking at options now which are just not there. And so realistically, guys, I can't see a way how this team's going to get anything done. They, as I said before, they don't even have El Nene and Monreal, who used to fill in at that position. They were the emergency centre backs. And right now, the only thing that I'm thinking that the team might do is put Klasnach as centre back and move. Obviously, they've got Saka, which can play left back, and Kieran Tierney's back soon. So they've got that option, but that's not really an option, is it? I don't know what they're thinking of, and you know, one has to think how they're going to go through the rest of the Premiership with this type of setup, knowing that you have to compete to finish in the top 4. But anyway, listen, rumours are really strong with Kazawa, and he's actually not worked out at PSG. He's available on a free in the summer, so actually doing something now like getting him on a loan, because he's not even playing there, but doing something now like getting him on a loan, I wouldn't even think to say to offer them a couple of million for him, because I think getting him on a loan and paying his wages will probably be the best way out. But if they can get that done, then at least that fills in for someone who they know is a player of quality. A lot of people compare him to Ben Affa, who also came from the French league and had some spells, especially with Newcastle, didn't really work out. But again, he's a quality player. People looked at him as a Nasri type player, really good on the ball, 2-footed, keeps the ball well, good in possession, and works really hard. And he kind of suits that Arteta style, the style he's trying to work with in that formation, and the press, and obviously winning the ball back. So I think that that's something that could happen. Will it happen this month? Probably could. That's a deal they can definitely work around. But I don't really see anything positive in that respect of anyone coming in this month. I would be shocked, and I know they're working hard around the clock, but centre-back is the real position of need, and we're struggling right now. This is red alert, yeah? If you didn't know by now, then you know now. We are in crisis at the moment at that position, because if all it takes is one stupid... We saw what happened with Aubameyang, yeah? Studs high, into the ankle, red card. All it takes is something like that, and Arsenal are going to be down to Mustafi, and that's not a good place to be. Remember when Freddie Ljungberg put Mustafi in the team for 1 game, and that was all he needed to see. Since then, man ain't even been on the bench. Yeah, they don't want him anywhere near the field, but you would have to put him on there if you can't find a solution. Sheffield up next. Tough team, well organised. They're a little bit like Brighton in that way. They don't let many goals in. They play really well together as a team. It's got them set up perfectly. They don't lose many games, and their league position tells you that. Coming to the Emirates though is something which most of these teams that have come up into the Premiership are struggling with, and the likes of Burnley, etc., they've never really been able to get over that hump of playing well away from home, and that's why I can see a decent result here for Arsenal. I am going for a 1-0 win against Sheffield, and we're definitely going to have to turn it on. Lacazette, Pepe, heavy shoulders trying to carry the weight of who's going to score that goal. And then the midfield as well. Are we going to see the likes of Dani Ceballos coming back? And Dani Ceballos, as I said on my podcast, Arteta sees him as a Martinelli type of player who can play anywhere along the front three line. I know that Emery played him as a number 10 and as a holding midfielder, but in the Spain under 21s where he was a player of the tournament, he was further up the field. And I think that's Arteta knows that, because Arteta follows all the championships and the Spanish national team. And I think that's where Arteta sees him best. So it would be a surprise to see where he's going to play him along that line. And I really hope that we do see him at some point this week. Don't expect too much, because he ain't played in 2 months. Much like the Rob Holding issue, there's going to be a level of game speed that he needs to catch up with. So if he struggles for a bit, no need to get on his back for that. Same with Rob Holding. If he sucks it up, he just sucks it up. Let's just hope that he can get up to speed as much as he can. But I'm going to go with a 1-0 win, and I'm going to stay with that. And just be wary of how good Sheffield are, and try and keep possession of the ball, be aggressive when you're off the ball. And I think those factors are working for Arteta. He's really happy with what he sees at the moment. And they've not turned into positive results, but we haven't lost a lot of games as well. And we're just waiting to now put a string together of some positive results. And I think the Sheffield game will do that for us. So that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe as always. Right back at you, and back your team, boys and girls. Speak to you soon. Peace out.